Yeah, so Barney decided that he'd get himself into trouble. But can't see it now, but underneath that shirt, he's got a cut right here where he ran into a piece of metal at high speed and cut his shoulder. Took him to the vet. So here's Bernie's wound, maybe 6 or 8, maybe 10 stitches. He ran into a piece of steel. Yep, anyway, Bernie got into a little bit of trouble. So this week has been full of all sorts of different things. You see the Volkswagen's parked out here because I've got the car, the BMW, is in the garage because the alternator's not working. Oh dear. Then all this gravel showed up, and so I spent a day or 2 or 3 spreading gravel around with my tractor. Then it was had to go to work for a day. Oh my God, working! What's going on around here in the middle of summer? Working? Can't be doing that too often. So I went to work for a day, and then came back and spread more gravel. And so the gravel all looks pretty nice back here now. It's right up to the edge of the new shop, and I don't have to walk in the mud anymore. And here's my little gravel spreader thing, it's called a box grader. But this, like I've shown you, I'll show you a picture later. You'll see a picture later. This thing here hooks onto the side, hooks onto the plow on the back of the tractor, which is right in right there. And then you go and drag it back and forth. And then at the end of it all, you just take that off and turn the blade backwards and do what they call back blading. You just drag it. It turns into a bit of a drag. So anyhow, it comes out pretty nice. And then I'll get a golf cart and go back and forth with the golf cart and get that fixed up. That golf cart packs it in nice. I don't know why. It just seems to work okay for packing gravel. So, but in here, in this one, there's the BMW that didn't make much progress on it, but there's some progress. So this week here, it's kind of a tale of 2 cars. This car here got half a job done, and the other car, which is in the other shop on the hoist, it got a half a job done. So I have tracked it down. I'll talk about that later. You'll see, if you hang around, you'll find out what it did. And then in the other shop, I'll walk over there, and that car is, there's Tony coming in. Tony has been around a lot lately. But in this shop over here, there's the Mercedes is up on this hoist here. So I'll just make one video covers all. I have the lights left on in here from earlier today because I planned on getting back here. Welding gear sitting there because whenever you have that tractor out with the box welder on it, with the box grader on it, you have to anticipate a bunch of welding because generally I break it. So this one here, I got started on fixing some of the body work down there, and it actually came along pretty nice. You can see that in more detail later. And that's about the week. So mostly it's been a week of telling a story why I didn't get anything done. Here's the alternator from the new alternator from the Beamer, which I pulled out, and then I'll get more into that story later too. Anyway, hopefully see you next week. Hopefully have maybe more accomplished next week. Maybe not because it's summertime and you got to go to the beach. So there you go. Bye for now. Hope you enjoy it. See you next week. Yeah, so there's the old gravel down there. Then we have new gravel out here. Looks like there's been a bit of traffic on it. It'll get squished out eventually. I did a bunch of work on it yesterday with my little grader thing to get it so that it's spread across and filled in the holes. Seems to be pretty good. Feels all right. That rain last night didn't wash it all away. So then I'll show you a little bit how I do this. I built a bit of a grader for the back of the tractor on the 3-point hitch, and then then I go back and forth, and it seems to smooth it out pretty good and get all the holes filled in. Anyhow, this is like one full load. There's doggies and cats. I'm like the Pied Piper here. one full load does the first chunk of driveway, and then we'll put another load down that back driveway. A little bit over there. Anyway, that's all for now. Yeah, so there's my gravel spreader thing. So I built it out of just some old pipe. I'll get down here where you can see it. And you see it has 3 rows of pipe going up, and that makes it so that it collects the gravel into the plow area, and it'll only get so full, and then it lifts the plow, because it's not a solid connection there. The plow lifts up, and then the gravel will go underneath it, but it smooths it out. So if you get to a hole that's in the gravel, it'll go over the hole, and then hold the plow up over the hole, so that the new gravel goes into the hole. And it works pretty good. It keeps it level, and it keeps it from going out, past the edge. So the gravel will just stop at the edge, and then stop at this edge here too, without getting, won't spread it out past where you want it to spread. And that's the hard part about gravel, is if it gets pushed out past where you want it to be, it's very difficult to get it back. So you got to just sort of keep it that way. And then this thing here is just a piece of rebar. Whoops, I'm pointing the wrong way. This thing here is just a piece of rebar. I put a bit of a handle on it, and over at this end I just put a pair of vice grips to keep it from coming back out. Goes through the middle there, and that's kind of the balance point of the whole thing, so you can lift it up and it won't go anywhere. But it's like just a loose fitting thing. Works good though. And there's the tractor, of course. My old L120 Kubota, which is a direct import from Japan. It's got Japanese writing all over it, but it's a good old tractor. I've had it for, I've had it for 25 years, and it's never missed a beat. There, now I've cut a few pieces out to fit in here. Where is that piece? Here it is, over here. Seems to be, yeah, cut a piece out and then lose it, right? Anyway, here's one piece. So this piece here, can you see that? Not very well. Anyhow, I shaped it out so that it'll fit right up in here, sort of like that. It fits into the groove okay. So that's the back of the channel, and it comes out to here. I'll put an end cap on it later, as soon as I figured out how big it is. These little pieces in here, I'm going to fix them first, and then I'll cut this one right here a little bit to make it fit. But first, I had a little piece. Wonder what I'd do with it. All that trouble to make something, then throw it away, right? I'll find it and show it to you. Yeah, the first little piece, like right here. And it was sitting on the welder waiting for me to get it. It goes right in here like that. And that will be like, that'll just fill that little hole in there. Then I'll keep building out until I get it fixed. Oh, there we are. Hard to do this, holding the light in one hand and then the camera in the other hand and running it all at the same time. There, that's all welded up in there for that's the back half of the thing, and it's solid now. Welded onto there. I'll clean up those welds later. It's not supposed to be right here. It's supposed to be just, only welded at the top and the bottom. So that's good. I'm happy with that. Then I'll go ahead, I'm going to build the other half. How can I show you? Can you see that? Not likely. See if I can get some light up there. So this thing here, to get it welded at the top there, I'll just build it out halfway and then down to about here and over to here. Then I can get that welded along that seam there, because otherwise it wouldn't be a solid piece. And then I'll weld another piece on here. I'll make another piece that goes from here to here and then down and over and up. So it'll all fit together and be solid. And then this piece here, right here, on this front side, it gets 2 bolts on the back of it. anyhow, that's all for today. I'll let that thing cool down for a minute or two, then I'll shut her down. Time for supper. Yeah, so I'm going to put the holding bolts on the inside of this fender bracket thing. So then we'll put the holding bolts in, weld this all together, put a cap on it, and then that'll be done. Yeah, so there's side number 1 up there. I put a cap on the end of it here. Haven't done any grinding on it yet, just got to put it in place. Let me see. Where's the hammer? Where's the hammer? Anything metal. There you go. Solid. Solid. Everything's all done up there. So I'll do a little bit of grinding on it, then I'll clean up this edge here. Not really sure what I'll do on it yet, but I'll clean it up somehow or other. It should only be about that high, so I'll just cut it along about there somewhere. Anyhow, there we go. Yeah, there you go. I grinded it up so it's pretty smooth now, and I think it'll be just fine. And very, very, very strong. So that's all. I'm happy with that one. Hopefully the fender fits around it. We'll see. This bit here goes on like that, and the fender comes way out here, so that's okay. Oops, there. This bit here fits on like that, and the fender comes quite a ways out. So I don't think we'll have a problem making it fit. Right on. Yeah, that's the way all the fittings go on there. Like this is for holding the bumper on, and so is this. And it's adjustable this way. It's not adjustable up and down, so it's got to be kind of level, maybe one way or the other. I don't know which way. Like it's longer to the top one way, so I guess you can adjust it that much. Anyway, there it is, all on there, and I'll paint that black. I'll get the black paint out and paint that up before too long, and likely I'll drill a little hole right about there, just for a drain hole, let water out of it, and then I can also put some rust inhibitor in there. Yeah, here it is. I got it up on blocks, eh? Got a stopper at the back there to keep it from going anywhere. Anyway, the drive's fine. Everything works fine. The speedometer works like last time I was talking to you. It was working good. That little thing down there, you see that little thing down there? Right in through there. That's a USB thing. Now, Sam turned me on to that, and what it does is well, I'll do it. Here, wait a second. Yeah, take 2 here. So when you turn on the key, it comes on and it shows you the voltage in the battery. So when I first was using it, I said, oh, the battery voltage on there is showing, like right now it's saying 12.8. But when I was using it first, it was showing like 10.9 and stuff like that. And I said, the thing must be wrong. Take 3. Of course it's not wrong. The same way blood pressure machines are never wrong. So what I did was I took out the new alternator and swapped in the old alternator. That didn't make any difference. Then Sam got here. Here he is working on his motorcycle over there. Say hi, Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello, Sam.
And so then we started doing some tracking it down. And this wire here, which has got a little clippy thing on it, so we hooked that onto the field. Take the wires off the field. Well, first we tested the field wire, and it was shorting when the keys turned on. So we took that off and then hooked this wire directly to the battery. Ran the car, and then of course it charges 13.4, which is what it's supposed to charge. So that alternator in there is okay, but the bushings in it are wobbly, so I'm going to take and put the other alternator back into it again, and then track down the wiring problem. So there's somewhere that one wire from the field, there's 2 wires go to the field output on the alternator at the back there. There's a wire that's the positive wire to the battery, and then another wire that goes to what they call the field, and then there's a ground wire that just grounds onto the body of the alternator. So that wire that goes to the field, there's 2 wires coming off of that into one connector, and don't know where they go for sure, but somewhere in one of these things here, they're shorting something's wrong somewhere. So I got to find that, and then once I find that, then that'll solve the problem. So I'll update you on that as we go. Yeah, here we are, getting new gravel here along the way. See if we can do it without running into the wires above here. Here, Brownie, here. Here, Brownie, here. Get over here. Yeah, so here we are. Tony's finished driving. So this week I didn't get an awful lot done on the cars. This guy here doesn't care. And mostly was, well, today I was out working on a different job. I had to go out to the blueberry fields and do some work on an irrigation system. Just marking points out in the field. Then the gravel guy was here for, the gravel guy came just about every day. And so I spent time on this thing, moving gravel around, and then this is my little box grader that I built out of pipes. And it works pretty good, but I always had problems with it lifting. Whenever I lifted it up, it would lift itself out. So today I finally got around to putting these chains. I welded them on there. Now every time when you're working with this thing here, you got to keep the welder pretty handy because usually you break stuff. But I think it's pretty solid now, and it seems to move the gravel the way I like it to. And that chain there makes it so that it doesn't drop off the end of the world. This piece of rebar here, it keeps it from pushing back, and this thing on the front here keeps it from, that makes it so it drags along all right. So it works pretty good. And then when the blade fills up full of gravel, it sort of lifts itself up a little bit and lets gravel slide out underneath. And this device here keeps it so it'll fill in potholes and stuff like that. It actually, box graders work really well for stuff like that. So anyhow, I gotta get this gravel all sorted out, and I'll do, well, tomorrow I gotta put a dock in for a while. So tomorrow's Friday, this is Thursday, so anyhow, we'll see what happens. So we didn't get too much done on this car this week. We did accomplish a few things, like that bit there is nicely renewed. Actually, I did a nice job on that. That's looking really good there for the fender mounting and the body work. The old piece that came out of there is, oh, that's a cardboard box, but now the old piece that came out of there is here. That's last time it was fixed with fiberglass, just filled up with fiberglass, and that's a bit of a breakfast that you wouldn't want to eat. And then the other side, this side here, the metal was pretty weak on it. There's not much left of that metal, so I put new metal in. Just 20 gauge on that stuff. Mostly because I've got 2 sheets of 20 gauge there, and I don't have any 20 and don't have any 18 gauge. Brake parts haven't showed up yet. They should show up here one of these days. Don't know what to do about the interior in this car. Whether, like, I've done the carpets and I've got the foam padding for underneath there and all that kind of stuff. I may take the seats out and get them done professionally, because I don't think I could do a very good job on it. I think that's off of my skill level. So, and it would look really nice if it had nice seats. And then, like I say, you got to keep the welder close. You just open the door and weld on that tractor bit. Now, it's sort of a tale of 2 cars this week, because car number 2, which we all remember as being the BMW, is over in this side here, in this shop. So, what did I do? I took it apart. The charging system wasn't working right. And there's the Honda Helix now. Project number umpteen. I've got a new belt, for a drive belt for this thing that I got to put on someday, but that'll be coming. This one here, the alternator wasn't charging. So then, I think I went over this the other day, but there's the reason was that the field wire that hooks onto the bottom of the alternator in there was from the car is shorting out somewhere, so I got to track down that short, and I haven't done that yet. And I've tested it on both. That's the old alternator that came out, and I have a new alternator in the other shop, and I'll reset it up and rejig it and put the new alternator back in there. And while I have the alternator all out and there's free space in there, I'll see if I can find where that wire is shorting. I'll try and track it back to whatever the problem is. And I'm betting it's one of these things here. Maybe one of those ones there. Like there's 2 or 3 of these things that hang around in here. So what I'll do is I'll put a tester on it, get it to make it so it's beeping because it's shorting. Then I'll start pulling fuses. And when I pull the fuse that makes it stop beeping, that would be the one that's wrong, right? Well, maybe. Then I can sort of change it around. I ordered some more new fuses for the thing. 5-pin fuses for the, there's 4-pin and 5-pin. I'll go back here and I'll talk. These ones here, like these ones here, well, where am I pointing? These ones along here are 4-pin. That one's a 5-pin, 4-pin, 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 5-pin, 5-pin, 5-pin down there. And so I bet you it's one of those 5-pin fuses that's not doing its job properly. Anyway, so tomorrow, put a dock in over way. You won't have to see any of that. But maybe tomorrow afternoon I'll get back here onto this and get the new alternator into it. Or get the alternator changed back to what it was before with the new one. And maybe I'll have solved this problem tomorrow. Maybe not. We'll see. But for one thing for sure is I'll make sure that we get the all that gravel spread. Now I've spread gravel up the driveway a little bit over there. Barney's way over there somewhere. Barney dog, yeah, there he is, way up there. Out of focus, but looking this way. And then Bandit is here. And the cat is in here, so I gotta get the cat herded. Have you ever herded cats? Here's one. I heard it, you only hear it, but hearing and herding are 2 different things. But I'll just, yeah. I'll grab cat, there. And somehow, kitty cats, when you lift them up, they can turn into a limp noodles. Like this one, that is completely limp noodle. Like sometimes he's limp noodle and sometimes he's a killer cat. This time's limp noodle. There. You stay out there, kitty cat. So anyhow, that's all for tonight. I've had supper and everything, so it'd be nice to get that gravel spread. That way I'm not tracking mud all over the place anymore. And so that gravel there is still not spread. I'll show you some out here. We did I'll do the walk around. I put some more new gravel down in here because we had dug it up. I had dug it up last year and put a electric line that goes back to the solar panels back there and to the house up here. So we had a trench dug there, so I've covered it over, replanted grass, kind of getting that fixed up. Then the tower for the internet's over there, and they're going to come in with a boom truck and ruin my grass, but well, what the hell, hey? Things just don't last. And then out here we did all the driveways. This is old gravel here, it didn't need any more. But I put a splattering of gravel on my driveway here, so there was a couple of little, right out here, a couple of little duck ponds would form when it rained, so I kind of filled them in a bit. And then our driveway that went way down there, and then, well, I'll show you. We actually did quite a bit of gravel work. Went way down to those 2 birch trees, way down there. They see those 2 birch trees, 1 and 2. Goes to their new gravel, and then out to the mailbox way out there, new gravel. And there was a bunch of potholes out in this part here, so they're all fixed up. And then this stuff here had never had gravel before, so it took quite a bit of gravel down to the neighbor's house. McFarland's down at the bottom of the hill here. So it's got a good seal of gravel on it, good coat of gravel on it now. And I'll run the grader back and forth up it a couple more times because you can see that it's a little bit lumpy. I should be able to get that lumpy stuff out of it. And then it'll be a nice job, nice finished job. That'll keep it so there's no mud going out this way. Yay. No more mud getting picked up and taken onto the gravel out here. So, a good week altogether, but not much work on the cars.